How does your faith continue to guide your creativity and your decision making today?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. We just right before this, my wife and I had our morning devotions where we're reading through the entire Bible in 2 years. Our church decided we're all going to do this together, and so we started. And it's a portion of the Old Testament, a portion of the New Testament, and then a portion of Psalms. And I think when Scripture is just part of your everyday experience, it can't help but impact the way you think, the way you act in the world. It's just there. And Seth and Tony and I, we because we're all fellow Christians and we all grew up with a strong faith. When we come together and make something creative, it can't help but influence the types of things we make because that's the world that we're inhabiting. That's the soup that we're in.
What advice would you give to a young person who may be watching today? They feel called to create, but they may be afraid to step out, or maybe they're afraid to fail. What would you say to them?
In my experience, that intersection between creativity and my Christian faith is a great place to live. And one of the reasons is because we recognize that art isn't ultimately only about self-expression. It's about serving others and about creating things that can actually be helpful to others. And it gives the creative process a whole different perspective. We've lived through a long era where artists are looked at as sort of entities unto themselves, and whatever they think and whatever they feel, they should just go for it and they should live any way they want to, that's all part of it. And I just don't think that's a good way to live. But when you're creating in service to a higher calling, it just changes the whole perspective of why you do it.